when I had those 4 months away, like my big purpose, going there, I really got to reflect on my life. I think I said this last time, but it gave me that time to kind of reset my life and do it. And one of my big things was I want to come back as a better person, do everything right. I want to be able to give if I can give, do charitable stuff, and just be a better person all the way around. And number two, I want to show everyone, hey, listen, I made a mistake, but I can be bigger and better than I ever was before. So I wanted to start building on doing different projects and doing stuff I never ever done before. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing some more developments. And I'm kind of like trying to pick and choose the tenants, not in a way, oh, I don't want this tenant, I want that. But I want, if I'm going to do a building and it has 3 tenants, I want to make those tenants have synergy.
How many times did you sit back just relaxing? Understand movements coming in, yeah, we got the packs in. I don't really want.
Welcome to Kathy and Susie's Kids. Today it's Ivan Spinner.
How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Glad to have it. Glad to be back. Appreciate it.
Yeah. This is your 3rd time.
It is.
How is everything going? How was New Year's for you?
New Year's was great. I was actually at my second home in South Florida. We love, so it was good. It was good family time. Good to see my family on my side.
The whole family?
The whole family, girls, my boys' girlfriends as well. But it was a good trip. When you get to see all my family and friends from back there, it's always good, exciting. The weather was incredible. 75, 80 degrees every day. Sunny. Went on the boat a lot. It was a really, really great trip.
Now, how far is it? Like, give me a little area of where this.
It's Boca Raton, Florida, which is like right in between Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
So right smack in the middle on the East Coast, about 40 miles north of Miami.
Got a good nightlife?
Great night, yeah, great.
We're talking like Miami Vice style.
I don't know about Miami Vice, but it's it's become like a hub from all the Northeasterners coming down, and the market there is crazy because all these Northeasterners, especially with taxes and stuff, they're all moving down to South Florida, especially Boca Raton. It's probably like the hot spot right now. So it's
real estate's went up.
Real estate's gone crazy.
So you're staying there though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm there quite
selling?
a bit. No, I'm definitely. I was pretty much born and raised there, so I'm committed there to at least have some sort of house or condo or something in that area.
So yeah, man, I never got. I think the furthest I've really experienced is Tampa.
Yeah.
We did a lot of growing up. We due to my mom, we had a little condo in Gatlinburg, like the old part of Gatlinburg.
Gotcha.
So I kind of grew up. My mom had cancer, so when my mom had cancer, she stayed away from the sun.
Right.
So it was always, let's go to the mountains.
Yeah.
And it was just a little 1-bedroom condo with a pull-out couch, but it was around a stream.
Right. Well, that's great. Listen, it's all about family time.
Oh.
Those memories are the best. You'll remember that forever. So
Enjoyed it. That's what we did. We we had a kitchen in there. We'd eat like a family, and we spent a lot of time over there in Tennessee. But Florida, Tampa. Pretty sure I hit the Disney maybe once or twice.
Right. Tampa's blown up. I mean, when I was a kid, Tampa was
In a good way?
And it's gotten big. It's gotten big, and when it was a kind of a smaller town or smaller city, and it's really developed a lot. I'd say it's become a really, really nice place.
When I went out there one time, I guess like the Rack or something maybe.
The Rack, I'm not sure.
But it's like a little hot spot over there.
Oh. Ybor City is huge in Tampa. There's a bunch of them. Now, everything now is based on that river. So everything around that river is all these bars and restaurants, and that's where the Lightning play, the hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a hot spot.
Well, they got the Buccaneers now. When I went there, when I went there, I could have went to a Buccaneers game for about $10.
Right.
Nobody was in them stands.
Well, Brady's bringing them back to life.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But imagine what the city, though, because I went by there, and I'm telling you, it was like Shuckers. Like, I love the Shuckers, but not a lot of people go to the Shucker games.
No.
And that kind of how the Buccaneers were. People wasn't supporting them that big.
It's hard, though, in Florida, going to these football games, it's so hot. People don't understand, like, when you're in these, you don't have, like, fall football. And when it's in the fall and the summer, it's brutally hot out of those games. So I used to go, when I was a kid, I used to go to the Dolphin games.
What was that like?
I mean, you're baking. I mean, we were good back then. They had a good year this year, but it's hot. And that's why the Marlins, I don't think, do well in baseball because it's so damn hot.
They have that new stadium too, right?
Yep. Yeah, but I think their capacity is like nothing. I don't think anyone ever go. I think the capacity is huge, but no one ever shows up.
I think with the right marketing, they'll figure it out. But like you
possibly.
said, the heat and
It's heat. I mean, it's hot. Would you rather watch a game where someone that's cooler? It's not 110 degrees with the sun blaring in your face.
yeah,
So
if I was going to Miami and a typical vacation, I would be out at the beach.
correct.
Midday, I'd be napping. I wouldn't be watching a baseball game, and I'd be ready for the nightlife.
Yeah, and it starts late. Like you want to go to if you want to go to like a dinner and like see people and have some action, you're going to dinner like 10 o'clock at night.
Really?
Yeah, so you're going to dinner at 10. You're done at 12. Then you're going out to the bars. I mean, it's a total, like me, I'm normally in bed by like 6 or 7 every night. So for me, it's a total different environment being in Miami. I like more like the Boca lifestyle because it's much more laid back and not as crazy.
It's
And
got that I made it lifestyle.
Somewhat, but it's
like
not as crazy.
No, but it's got that kind of everybody know, like the people that live there,
It's definitely more upscale. And Miami's like a melting pot. It's people from everywhere, and Russia, every South American country.
I can't remember where I was in South Florida. I can't remember what it was. I remember going to like a Walmart or Kmart or one of them places.
Well, they're everywhere.
And they were Spanish first.
Yeah, there's no
Spanish
question.
first.
Yeah, I mean, you have all the Cubans, and I mean they in Miami you have a little Havana. I mean, you have areas that are just made for the Hispanic market. But yeah, most people Spanish.
Probably some of the best food too, man.
Oh, incredible! Cuban food's the best. I love Cuban.
I have a buddy, James Bennett. Shout out to you, buddy. His mom's full-blooded Cuban from Cuba.
Right.
His grandpa still lives over there, and he's from Miami. And what are the bananas like? I can't call them a banana.
Plantains.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
they're
she's
great.
like, she cooks some of the best Cuban food,
Oh,
and
there's
she's
no
right
question.
here in Louisiana now.
Yeah.
But eating their food
Oh, it's incredible.
like a real Cuban sandwich.
Yeah, I used to always go and they have like these tiny thin chicken breast with like black beans and rice.
Ooh.
You're like and then plantains. I mean, just the food, and then they have the sandwiches that they squish in like a toaster. It's just the food in South Florida. Like the food here is really good for like seafood and stuff.
Yeah.
But in South Florida, the steak restaurants, the Italian restaurants, the food is incredible in South Florida. I mean, I'll put it up against New York City. I mean, it's that good. The Italian restaurants in South Florida are second to none.
Well, I mean, that was what they were striving in 70s, 80s. That was up and coming. That's where the money was being made. And, I mean, kind of like a gold rush back then.
Well, yeah, back then those days were more like the cocaine days.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cocaine Cowboy
exactly.
documentaries. Like
That's where it was. Exactly.
And what is a one bedroom condo go for over there in Miami?
Oh, man,
I mean, is it outrageous?
It just depends. Like most of these new condos are going for $1,000+ a foot. It's crazy. If you're one of those high end condos, easy $1,000 a foot.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the market is, and it's getting stronger there because most people there are paying cash. There are a lot of foreigners coming in with money, and they want to protect their money, and they're bringing it down there. And now all these Northeasterners from New York and these areas are moving down there because you have no state income tax. Like I would love the state of Mississippi to do no state income tax. I mean, all these states that have done it, I mean they're prospering like crazy. You got Texas, you got Florida, all these big states that have this no state income. People are like, well, how do they make money? Well, obviously they're doing it somehow because the two most successful states probably right now, financially.
I'm not going to rule it out and say eventually. I think it eventually will come.
I don't know. I mean, I've talked to a couple politicians down here, and they say they just don't see how it can. But I think it'd be an amazing thing, and I think you get a lot of business people that would move here. Yeah. Because Mississippi is like it's a gem, but people don't realize how nice it is. So I think if you did something like that with no state income tax, you get a lot of businesses and people that would move here that would generate more businesses and other ways. I just don't know how the economics work. I don't know how these other states actually do it. The economics work without not having that state income.
I think a big part of it is, you ever go past Hattiesburg?
I do. Okay. My kid goes to Oxford. Yes,
So there's from what I get at it, and you see Philadelphia, Mississippi, and all these places the coast is like a separate part of Mississippi.
That's what I tell everyone.
I tell everybody too. It's
I'm like the coast is kind of like a Destin or a Daytona Beach. It's like the tourism. It's the only place on the water. Yeah. So I said it's not when you're thinking of Mississippi, when people like these movies like Mississippi.
Oh, it's all racist and stuff.
They're thinking of the cotton fields and I'm like, it's not at all like that where we live.
My big thing when I was I told you about me being swatted by the cops when I played video games back in the day, huh?
No, I don't.
I was a Twitch streamer. You know, it's popular.
Right.
When I first was talking to you 4 or 5 years ago,
Right.
about 5 years ago, I got swatted in Gaucher.
Wow.
On Twitch live streaming. They got my IP address, and then it went on Twitter and went viral on Twitter, and had 14 cops around my house.
For what? What do they think you were
Said I
doing?
murdered my wife and kids on Skype. They called it in, and they had to take the protocol.
Jeez.
And the officer that threw me down and never made the news. Sorry, guys, you're not gonna get that scoop.
Right.
But you can go to Gaucher and you can pull up Jourdan Jourdan and you can find out. But the officer at the time just lost his wife.
Wow.
And he kind of got aggressive with me.
Right.
I'm talking like my arm. You know, just
Right.
he got me.
Well,
But
nowadays with these body cams, you get in trouble.
Oh,
back then they'd kick you in the head and everything. But nowadays it's not going to happen.
but I would have people all the time when I would stream that because of my accent a little bit, and it would just be like, and then I talk about where you from, Mississippi, because I'm proud of where I'm from. It's like,
Right.
This is a racist area. I'm like, growing up, I've never.
Yeah.
I even grew up in Cedar Grove and St. Martin. I mean, I think there's about 4 or 5 white boys in my neighborhood.
Right.
I never really looked at color.
Yeah,
And, you know, one of my best friends is Richard Hawthorne, pound for pound, world's strongest man.
Okay,
like
great.
that's my boy.
Yeah.
You know, we were neighbors, but like I've never really looked at color. You know, I've never looked at it like a hatred thing. And you know, I don't know where they go in northern Mississippi, how that is, but down here,
You're right.
everybody's for themselves. I mean, it's a coastal place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm from South Florida, so it's like literally the melting pot of the world. I mean, we're probably one of the first places, you know, gays and blacks and Spanish.
Oh,
so,
I bet.
So I'm, you know, the farthest from being a racist. I mean, all my friends were different cultures and, you know, just from different areas. So, and I was a tennis player, obviously, as well. So, I mean, I knew people.
You played tennis?
I did.
Dude, really?
I played it.
I wish Matt was here right now.
I played in college. Yeah, I played at Penn State. So,
Wow.
yeah, a long time
Are
ago.
so you're really good at tennis.
I was really good. I'm old and out of shape. So now.
Like what kind of speed can you put on the ball?
Speed, I was good. I was really, really good. So, you know, it was a long time ago.
I enjoy watching tennis.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool.
See, it's me. I'm opposite. I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah.
I hate watching it.
It's a strategy.
Yeah. I don't think I've really watched or played tennis. I haven't watched a match in probably 15 to 20 years.
So how old were you when you started playing tennis?
Young. I was young. I was like 7 years old.
And it was like, oh, well. Now I had this kid named Michael Johnson, not the runner, but Michael Johnson was in my 3rd or 4th grade class.
Right.
And I might be like, but his mom used to check him out. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he used to check him out at the end of school,
Right.
the last period of school, and he'd had a coach. He'd have a tennis coach, and he played tennis from the time 3rd or 4th grade to I know he went off to college for it.
Yeah. I mean, I
5 days a week.
I was super serious. You know, it's a major commitment, and South Florida is probably the best place in the country for tennis. But no, I mean, I lived away from home from 7th and 8th grade. I was on a full ride at Nick Bolletary Tennis Academy in Bradenton. So I mean, it made me grow quick. But I mean, commitment wise, I always tell people, like especially in my insurance business, I tell people, you know, I look for, if someone tells me, hey, they were a student athlete in college, that's the first person I'm gonna try to hire. Because the commitment to go to play a sport, in any sport, I'm talking about.
That's a good way to look at it.
Baseball, football, tennis, golf, whatever it is, to commit to a sport and be a good academic person, you're a committed person. So I always look, if someone says, I'll take someone today if they say, hey, I graduated from Princeton, and I say another kid's like, yeah, I graduated from University of Florida, but I played tennis and whatever it is, I'd pick that kid all day long. That's just how I am. I believe if you're a college athlete, the commitment you need is pretty impressive.
Did you lose your passion and not to go pro? I mean, at college, where were you at when you made a decision? I'm done.
Actually, I did it my year going after my senior year in college. I played some tour events and I was just burnt. My shoulder was shot. My body was burnt.
It's hard on the body.
Oh yeah. Even to this day, I'm realizing how it's great, but when you start training when you're 7 years old till you're 25, the pounding on your knees and your shoulders are just brutal on you. So I mean, it was an amazing experience. Great college. Got to go to college for free. It was amazing, but it definitely puts a toll on your body for sure.
I mean, I didn't even know that about you. So with me having cerebral palsy, so I never. When I was younger, I played football, I played soccer,
right?
But I had to do some surgeries on my leg and stuff. And then it was by the time I kept going back to the doctors. They're like, oh, you can't, like right. you already have a disability. But at the time, it wouldn't test me for physical, so I would dive into like playing like defender in soccer, and I I love sports, but I just
Great.
when you got to, I did like tennis. I tell you that because I like, it was fun. I wasn't really that good at it, but definitely a sport it was a sport where you could sit around with your buddies and play for 6 hours.
Yeah, and it's also a great sport. People taking it up later in their life because it's enjoyable. You go to the club right here, like Bayou Bluff or whatever it is, and you get to enjoy playing.
My mom used to do it. She had a 1988 baby blue 300ZX.
Oh, wow.
And used to wear the tennis outfits.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's dangerous. You got to be careful. Those
You know what
tennis
car I'm
clubs.
talking about?
Yes, I do. I know exactly the car you're talking about. But no, it's a great event, and props out to Bayou Bluff. They're actually I'm a member there, which is a great club. But
It's across the street, I think.
Across the street from Marina Cantina, and they're complete a massive renovation. I think they're actually knocking it down completely and building it. So I think that's going to be great for the coast, especially great for this area around here. To have a brand new tennis facility and a new.
What's it cost on a
clubhouse.
membership there?
I think. So I don't know what the down payment is. Back when I think it was like $1,500, and I think it's like $130, $140 a month. But it's a great place, and I think it's only going to get much, much better, especially with this addition. With doing what they're doing is a great thing for the Gulf Coast.
I went to some campaign. They do some campaigns over there.
Yeah, they do a bunch, but now with this, they're going to be able to do weddings and parties and events. It's something that it needed, and I think it's going to be great.
What about Marina Cantina though? Like when you put that beach there and you got the boat coming.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to develop? There's going to be a lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah, so like this weekend we just had like a bass tournament. So I guess they signed a deal with this big bass tournament.
The Brownwater Bantering boys
Exactly.
were out. Joey and Jared were out. They were just on the podcast like 2.
Right.
Yeah, this is their candle.
I did see that, and I think they're going to start doing it like once a month from what I'm hearing. And that barge that we're going to do is going to be called the world's smallest oyster bar. And they just took it out. It actually was sinking because one of the pontoons busted open, but it's getting fixed up right now, and they're going to do a big grand opening, I think Mardi Gras Day. So it's going to be exciting. Listen, we extended our docks. I don't know if you've been out there recently. We've done a lot of improvements over the last.
I'll be lying to you and said no. I would go inside, and that's it now.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying the inside bar.
Okay, well go down. We've done a lot. We've added those blinds. We put new flooring down upstairs, and we've extended the dockage.
And you got the windshields and everything.
Correct.
You got heaters and all kinds of stuff. No, I just like the upstairs.
That's good.
The bar there. Yeah, they're always sweet. And
that's good. It's a good thing.
It's a good bar.
Yeah,
it's a good bar.
We want people up and down, so it's a great thing. So we're excited about it. For me, I'm still just the landlord, but I feel like I'm there all the time. So it's been a great thing.
It's the hot spot right now on the coast.
Yeah,
I'm
biased, so I think it is. But I listen, we need many more of them. I brought that's the ultimate goal.
I got some buddies from Latimer I grew up with, and since DJ, my buddy has I don't know if you've seen him. He's the one that has the little like a gold brown H1 that rides around.
I don't think so.
It's a nice Hummer, man. It's just when he made some money. He still has his college. He has like a F-250, a new F-250,
right.
But he still drives his college Tacoma.
Okay, great.
You know what I mean? He's one of them guys, but he has this Hummer, and it's just like when you had your soft open, and he went with me.
All right.
And now he's sliding in there all the time.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I know this weekend we're having Conor McGregor. I guess he's having another fight, so they're having a UFC fight there this weekend. We're gonna have a bunch of events. I'm a little nervous about the summer. I think it might be a little bit chaotic. I think with being like probably the premier place on the water right now. Hopefully more come, but I think it's going to be a very happening spot.
Are you going to have more boat slips?
We do. We just added on. We doubled the size. It just came in, and pretty much we're almost finished. The only thing we're waiting is our pylons, but it's all floating docks, so we just doubled the size of that. So we're excited. We're excited about the future.
It's so when you started doing when you do like even in the wintertime, you've been having boats fill in.
Oh yeah, really? This
I'm just
like on that bass boat. I think they had like over 40 something boats there this weekend at one time. So we had a obviously bass boats are much smaller, so the capacity is a lot better. But yeah, we've been having boats coming up pretty much every weekend. Guys, people down here, they don't care. We actually had a few kids this weekend. I saw them pull up on their jet skis, and it's cold. But if you can handle it.
I'm a kid and I got a jet ski.
Yeah.
You know what?
Hey, listen. Hey, if you could do it.
Hey, Joey, did you hear that? Because see, Joey and Jared from Brownwater Banter,
right.
They're childhood friends of mine.
Okay.
So we grew up they're my buddies. But they, Joey had this idea of another source of having a platform.
Right.
Well, if they have these tournaments, I got to get out and I got to get the weigh-ins.
Right.
So that's why they're out there. That's what his thing is. He can't stand having local fishing tournaments. And this is true.
Right.
And you never know what the weigh-in is.
Right.
You always got to get your friend to take a picture on the phone of a board. And for them, it's they.
No, listen. I was in Kissimmee, or I was at the Mecum Auction, the car show, and so I wasn't there on Saturday, but they were sending me pictures, and it seemed like a great event. Seemed like a great time, and everyone seemed to love the podcast. So I got to watch it. So great job, guys.
Yeah, they did the sheephead at your partners in Biloxi, Blind Tiger.
Okay.
The fishing tournament called the sheephead.
Okay, they did that one.
That's theirs.
Okay, good.
So go back to me. You said you're at Mecum.
I was at Mecum.
I seen John and his. Did he get a little BMW?
Well, yeah, we bought it together.
Oh.
So John and I went there. Well, it was a bunch of us, but John.
We're talking like Steve Urkel car, right?
Exactly. Well, what happened was it was going crazy. The cars there were going absolutely nuts. Way, we believe overpriced. But those little BMWs, I think they're called like Casettas, where it was just coming up, and we're like, hey, we know what they're worth. Especially me being in the car business, we had our guys do some research, and we're like, hey, if this thing goes on anything under 40 grand, we're gonna buy it. So we ended up buying it for like 30. We're in a 537, but we think it's like a $50,000 car. And we're, John wants to drive it in Ocean Springs with his wife, cruising around town. So John Boothby and Adrian have a blast in it.
How about John Landry?
Oh, Landry Landry. He wouldn't be able to bring his wife in it.
But was he?
No, Landry wasn't there. It was me, John Boothby, Chris Raines from Ocean Springs.
He has a Corvette guy, right? The little silver Corvette, little nice guy with this really sharp looking Corvette. Yeah.
Yeah, and Stephen Warren. So it was good. It was a good little break. It was fun. We had a good time.
So what's it like going there with your buddies and having a couple cold ones and all of a sudden bidding on things?
That's where it gets dangerous. We have a group of us, like probably 8 guys every year that go to Barrett-Jackson, and that's normally this time of year. But it got postponed until March. But it's all guys from the coast. We go down there for like anywhere between 4 to 7 days, depending on the person. And you're down there, you're drinking, and that's what they do when you're in the table. They give you unlimited drinks for free. So their goal is to get you wasted.
That's smart though.
So there's no doubt. I mean, you can't get better. So by the time 5, 6, 7 o'clock goes, you're just bidding on stuff. You don't even know what you got. I mean, last year I think between the group of us, we had like 13 or 14 cars coming home with us, and we're like, what do we do? But sometimes they turn out good and sometimes they turn out bad.
You got anything else?
No, that was we only went there for a day.
Okay.
So that was the only thing we got, but it was a lot of fun. We had good times, good memories. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's kind of jealous that when I met your buddy Landry and hung out with him.
He's a great dude.
Super nice guy.
Great guy.
I didn't even know who he was. He just shared Ultra with me, and that was the thing about us when I first. So I went to your buddy's property. I forgot who it. During Cruising Coast, you said you're coming out.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I was riding my scooter. I was riding it the whole time.
That's right. I remember.
And I seen Joey.
Yeah.
I think Joey and John, which you can always see John. You look over and John's there.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were just setting the cars up. This was the first night or Thursday night or something. Right. Well, then Landry's sitting there with an ice chest full of Ultra, and he's like, "Hey, want a beer?"
Yeah.
And me and him sat around and drank some beer. So the next time he said, "You want to come out and hang out with us?"
Yeah.
And so I bought him a 6-pack and rode it on my scooter and seen him out. But yeah, he said, "Man," he's like, "Yeah, we share a lot of cars." Like he was talking about y'all friends.
Oh yeah,
we share a lot.
A lot of times when we go to those Barrett-Jackson shows, instead of buying up one person, we'll say, "Hey, let's just buy it together." We'll buy it together. We like it, play around with it, and then we'll sell it. It's been a fun. This will be our 5th or 6th year going. So it's been fun. We started off with a few guys, and now probably this year we'll have about 9 or 10 guys go. It's just a great event.
And now for people listening, because this is kind of important to have that relationship with some of your friends. And
Correct.
I've met a few of your friends. And the funny thing is like the support they have for you. It's like John, both Johns. But people always say like you don't have, there's a lot of people like you don't lean on your friends or have these people, but it seems like you have a knit kind of group of friends that are your corner.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have real true friends that are there for you and you're not there for them, I don't think you're really living your life. Listen, you always want to be guarded up and you don't know especially what some people want out of you, but you have to have close friends and you have to have, I feel like my friends are like my family. So I'm extremely tight with a lot of different people, and also different, different circles. So, I have friends on, completely different circles than my closest friends. But it's important. It's important to, talk to someone good, bad, and different, and let them know that not you're talking, but you're listening. So I think it's extremely important. I have really, really, really close friends here and really close friends in Boca as well, because that's where I grew up. So friendship's important, especially to me.
Yeah, and that's my whole point. When I talk, like I have my Matthew.
Right.
I have my friends. But I have my boys. I have a close like me and John Carter. That's family.
Oh yeah, you guys are. You have your little Friday lunch group.
Yeah, I have Dean. I have Brian. One of the smartest people that you'll ever meet is Brian Chevalier.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, they just don't give him 5 minutes. Let him. He's just configured. But when I first met them cats.
Yeah.
So we're at Project Lounge, right? I pull up Project Lounge, and I got invited by Jake. We all know Jake.
We do know Jake.
He's a favorite of the Carters. We hear.
I don't know. Yeah, well, right now he moved next to his dad. So yeah, that made definitely.
I helped him pull his carpet up in his upstairs. So he called me over, and then he made me put a trampoline together in his yard.
Okay, good.
But I get to Project Lounge, and I never knew who Dean was, because I had no clue. Just had this one lunch meeting at Kevin Murray.
Yeah,
Kevin Murray's gold.
Yeah, great guy.
And we're at Project Lounge and hit it off.
Yeah,
and ever since then, this is years ago, but ever since then we have.
Yeah, that's a good group, and Brian. I do some stuff with Brian also. So yeah, he's a very, very smart guy. Enjoy working with him.
I'm like the little brother.
Yeah,
because they look at me because I'm 34.
Right.
And they just look at me like, hey, it's coming.
Yeah.
I made mistakes at your age.
Yeah.
Here, slow down or whatever.
Hey, they're not that much older. Don't make them. They're not that. What are they, like? Good 10 years older, maybe a little more. Maybe
Dean's 50.
Yeah,
48, 50.
yeah. They're my age. So
but I'm saying they're just always looking out for me.
No, that's good.
They're always on. Hey, don't do this. Like me and Dean play video games together.
Right.
Dean's favorite thing is Call of Duty.
Good. Well, that's good. Hey, listen. One of the biggest things, especially with friends, is you need to go through tough times in your life to find out who your real friends are.
Uh-huh.
And
I'm going through that right now.
Exactly. So you need to find going through. Listen, it's great when everything's going on top of the world and you got everything going perfect and great wife, great everything. Everyone wants to be your friend. But when something bad happens, then that's the true time you're going to find out who your true friends are.
And I'm going like with my mattress store shutting down over the coronavirus, going through some serious things. I mean, people call me and just I'm always there. You call me, I pick up.
Yeah.
What can I do for you?
And I think I'm the same way. I hope so. Yeah.
But that's my thing. Yeah. What can I do?
Exactly.
And just had a few things where it kind of hit me at home. It kind of hurt. I was kind of confused. Got a little. I was my ways.
Right.
I was going downhill, spiraling. Quick. But I had them, and I had other people. And I had people pick me up, and I had people go calm down. Because owning a business, I don't care who you are. It's not fun.
No.
I mean, it's fun at a time, but it's a lot of. You're not just thinking about you, you're thinking about other people.
There's no question. I mean, it's fun. It's fun when everything's going smooth.
Yeah.
But I tell everyone, I'm like, what do you do every day? I'm like, I put out fires every day. It's like, they're like, what's your job? I'm like, I put out fires. So it just doesn't end, from the insurance business to the real estate business to anything. It's just always something goes wrong. Oh, a permit or this or that, or an employee or an HR issue. So you're always putting out fires, and you're just making sure. But you gotta not just look at yourself. You gotta take a step back and look, and what's it doing for everything.
And if you look at, and this is something I always talk highly of too, is a thing that I had to learn too is people want stuff for free. Some friends want stuff for free, and they gotta stop. Because I pay full price,
right?
And I pay full price. You come a match from, I'll give you a little deal, but you're paying
100%.
Like John in the casino, I'll tell you right now, he'll tell you right now if I've ever got one ticket from him, to go any comp,
I've
turned down comps from him, as a friend, like, hey man,
there's no question. I mean, listen, I go to the restaurant, and
you pay.
I pay. Not only do I pay, I don't get a discount ever. But you do that for a reason. You do that because and I buy a lot of people drinks and food, whatever, here and there. But yeah, I mean, you pay. It's a business. When I go to other people's business, I expect to say, I don't want them to give me anything free. I want to pay.
Yeah.
But I always try to support my friends, especially in restaurants and other stuff like that, because I want everyone to do well. There's no reason for it not to be.
When you got out of jail over all that stuff that happened, that was a big,
100%.
And I seen you at Glotz.
Yeah.
I tried to buy you a drink. You wouldn't let me buy you a drink because I just seen you. It was like I knew, at the time I knew, what you're going through and stuff. But I mean, that was a thing too. Is like, you made a mistake, and honestly, mistakes do happen.
No, there's no question.
and that was something that you went through, and look where you're at now. Look how you're coming back stronger than ever.
Yeah, and that was kind of when I had those 4 months away, like my big purpose, going there. I really got to reflect on my life. I think I said this last time, but it gave me that time to kind of reset my life and do it. And one of my big things was I want to come back as a better person, do everything right. I want to be able to give if I can give, do charitable stuff, and just be a better person all the way around, and number two, I want to show everyone, hey, listen, I made a mistake, but I can be bigger and better than I ever was before. So I wanted to start building on doing different projects and doing stuff I never ever done before. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing some more developments. And I'm kind of like trying to pick and choose the tenants, not in a way, oh, I don't want this tenant, I want that. But I want, if I'm going to do a building and it has 3 tenants, I want to make those tenants have synergy. I don't want to do like here's a chiropractic firm, and then here's next to it is a nail salon. I want to have them synergy. So like, a chiropractor, and then we have like another doctor's office, and then like a Hot Works, and maybe like a smoothie store or a kid's store, but make them all like synergetic. That helps all those businesses.
So when people, if they need a, lease a building from you, they have to go through what you want to meet them.
100%.
You want to know what they're doing.
Yeah. Like, so I mean, I don't want like
I love that.
I don't want like and all of a sudden a really nice store, and then next door is a vape store. Not that nothing wrong with vape, but I want to try to make them that all these businesses feed off each other, because that's really what makes businesses successful. And
you've put yourself in this position yourself.
Yeah,
to make the decision that this is how I want. Because a person like you can make a difference. You've seen this with your team at the Marina Canteen. That's why we talk about it so much, because that area has been years with nothing. That was an empty lot. Now
right.
Look at it.
Right, and I think one of the things is different about me is my goal is when I do something, I want to do it right. So I'm not gonna ever put a building up or do something, or shopping plaza up or whatever I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna, do it half whatever. I'm gonna do
half
it.
Butt.
Yeah, half butt. But I'm gonna do it the right way and try to make it as nice as possible. And something that makes me proud. Like I go to Marina Canteen, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what
Gulf Coast Auto Exotic. How do you say it?
Gulf Coast Exotic Auto.
Yeah, flip me on that.
Yeah. So I mean, just like all those kind of stuff, I want to make it that it represents who I am, what I believe in.
Did you
whatever
help pick that name and the colors and everything?
I did actually. It was me and my brother-in-law Chris, who runs the place in there every day. But yeah, we did the colors and pretty much the whole grand scheme.
So if you get up, I'm just curious on some of your, where you're at in some of your developments. You done talked about how you found that property at the marina, bought it, whether you're going to open something or not. If you knew it was a good deal, you just wanted it.
Correct.
Now you've done the music store.
Correct.
Now you're developing it for Jeff O'Keefe's wife's coming in there.
Correct. Nazzetti's, which they're changed the name to Layla's.
Yeah, and now it's cool. But like that, so you got that. You got
we all those 5 buildings there that if anyone ever sees it on Pass Road,
it used to be eyesores.
Yeah, so now it's all going to be 5 really, really nice buildings, all white and black buildings,
just like Drenningen's.
Yes, exactly. They're all going to be very, very similar. All the parking lots are going to tie in together. We have actually some great tenants coming. We have Cotton Patch, children's stores going there. We have obviously Nazzetti's, which is now called Layla's. We have a company called Corked, which is like a high-end liquor store.
Fancy.
We're working on a couple other good concepts, maybe like a massage, a high-end massage place, and maybe a butcher shop. So we're working on with a bunch of different tenants to kind of figure it out. And then the Pinkston's building is going to be 22 executive office suites. So like, small business owners, accountants, accountants, attorneys, whatever it is, just need a single office with conference rooms.
Yeah.
And I think when people see that, they're going to be like, wow, this is really impressive.
Any more development coming this way on the coast?
Possibly. I'm working on a couple projects right now. But I'm still haven't locked anything down, but definitely working on some stuff.
So, I mean, when you said you're going to, you were locked up and you were thinking about getting, being with your family, getting back, making a difference, putting more effort in.
Yeah.
So this is you showing it.
Yeah.
You're seeing the development. You're seeing you're seeing it.
Yeah. I wanted to, I like staying busy, and one of my biggest weaknesses and maybe strengths is I like the art of a deal. Like I love turning a turd into something really, really nice. So for me, it's something I've always enjoyed and I like doing. I don't really have like a full-time job. So, if I want to go work from 8 to 10, I can, whatever it is. But I like getting up in the morning at 5 in the morning, and I like working, and I enjoy, looking at deals and looking at different.
What was your first? Where was your first? I mean, we know about. So if you ever watch, he's been on 2 episodes, and there's a whole story on him, like knocking doors in the insurance world, and really pushing himself to even buying his first Ferrari. That we gave you that poster. That is an old poster,
and it's
dude.
being framed right now. So yes,
it's cool.
Yes.
But what kind of intrigued you? What was your first property you bought that you knew you wanted to get in the industry?
So you know what? When I was in Florida, my buddies and I bought. You had that market boom and bust. So we always bought a couple little properties here and there, nothing crazy. I was more into like being an investor in like a funding business. Yeah. But actually, my first real piece of like rental property was here. When I came here, and I bought, I think my very first one was these Tropical Cove units, and I ended up buying like 3, and then I ended up buying like 6, and then like 8, and then they were rental incomes, and it was a lot of fun. But then I had a bunch of workers because I was buying a lot of houses and flipping them, and I was more or less buying these houses for the workers, and they would just either lease option to them or owner finance them to them, and just like the business and like turning these old houses, these really bad old houses, and gutting them and making them really nice. Back then, you were able to buy these homes for 30, 40, 50 grand. The market's gone crazy here over the last, 2 years, and it's tough to get a good deal on a house right now. So it's not as easy to do those rehabs and remodels like we used to. But who knows what the future is going to be in that.
So this real estate thing's been pretty recent with you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been over the last, like I'd say I started like 12 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean still, like for you to go, hey, and then it looked good. That house looked good.
That's what I like more than anything. I really like turning something into
satisfaction.
Exactly. I like it's like it's instead of putting a lot of these guys put like what they call lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Just paint it up and touch it up.
Yeah.
We don't ever do that. We always put all new appliances, all new granite. We're going to go the extra mile, because when people see it, even though you spend the extra money, people are going to pay the extra money. So that's how I believe in that model.
I think similar paths with me when it comes to doing like a little production style.
Correct.
Because we did the podcast, and most people just do podcasts; they don't do video.
Correct.
And for me, it was just if I'm going to tell somebody's story,
you want to see their facial reactions.
And I want to do it where it's kind of fun. We had the kid Plowed on. I don't know if you got to listen to him.
No, I didn't.
But he's down here from Biloxi, and he's we get off air, but he produces his own music down here, and he's a land surveyor, and he does all Butler homes.
Oh wow!
But having him on and tell his little story, and it's just the visual side. So I get the satisfaction of like we were talking about like the response from people about you and stuff, and it's positive.
Correct.
And that's kind of like a satisfaction of like. That's awesome. So
yeah.
you're taking a story, and people are actually going to sit there and they do listen now, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
But they look at you different, and it's something that, because I've always noticed that where people have always when you're in a production, or like I love film. If you're looking at like film to photos, photography, I like capturing things.
Right.
I like telling a story with a photo, and I can do that. Same thing with like my production side, but like I get the satisfaction of like just a good compliment for somebody saying like, that person's dope.
No, I agree.
It's a high, dude. You get this. There's no money that can put that high and like that feel.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. I love that you guys do the video, because I watched Jonathan Allen's the other day, and just like seeing
any
people
DJ.
Yeah, people seeing their facial just seeing their reactions and the way people communicate each other, and when you're behind a microphone and you don't really get to see it. Yeah. It's great, but you don't really have the same I don't think you have the same respect when you see someone talking and actually seeing if they're passionate or not. But I do enjoy watching the video. So when I watch your shows, I pretty much just go on my computer and just watch it.
And we do it, like for me, it stays on the TV.
Yeah, oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah, so with YouTube. Just
okay.
On TV for me. Just for me. Like, and the thing is also for my son. I want my son to look back and say, hey, dude, my dad talked to these cool people.
Oh, that's neat.
20 years from now, you're going to come back, and that's why, Ivans comes on every month.
Right.
20 years from now, your boys are gonna be like, well, you know what my dad did?
Yeah.
Like who my dad was, and it's
go watch Pod 1, go watch Pod 2.
Let my dad tell your story,
right?
Because that's something we don't realize. You blink your eyes, and then boom, and it's just another year.
No question.
And so like you get to capture these moments, and like a person like you that I'm very blessed to have you, do the first pod, and the first episode you did with us, you didn't even really want to, like, you wanted to get straight into talking about, you went to jail. You were open about it.
Yeah.
And we want to kind of shelter you.
Yeah.
Like, and that was our decision.
Right.
The second time you went.
Yeah. As I told you before, I'm completely not embarrassed. If what I'd like to do is, if anything, is I'd like to kind of embrace it and let people know that everyone makes mistakes, and, you got to overcome it. And, that's, my biggest goal is not overcoming it, but, realizing what people think about you or say about you, they're wrong. And that's really what, I don't want my legacy back. Oh my God, the guy got in trouble with the real estate thing and had to go to 4 months in prison.
And that was my thing when one of our local news places, and I texted you that same day. I was like upset about it. I was like, when that happened to you and you were the first pitcher.
Yeah.
And I was upset.
I was the only picture.
Yeah, and I commented. And Jeff O'Keefe, he hopped on right behind it. He's like,
listen, there was 9 of us. I was the only picture. I was the only one. But listen, they're there, and I'm not going to bash them. They're there to sell newspapers, and, sell. So they obviously felt like I was the most sellable person.
But it's so quick in one article.
Correct.
One article can flip. It's not just about us. It's about the kids, the people, your family that have to, have to explain their stuff, and most people don't have to explain anything.
Correct.
But people feel like they're entitled to.
There's no doubt, and one of the things is people look at news just like we're going with today with Trump and everything else, and some people now say fake news or whatever it is. They don't give the true story.
No.
So headlines can scare you. You read these headlines, you're like, oh my gosh, it's horrendous. But then when you really deep dive into it, it might not be as bad as what people think. I think I've learned a lot since what I've been through, and we've had a bunch of different tragedies here on the coast, in these areas, and people can't rush to judgment. People can't look at someone good, bad, and different in a negative way. They really should kind of understand it and put themselves in that person's situation.
That little girl Molly we talked about, you got behind there. I mean, I donated some money.
Right, I appreciate that.
And you got behind it.
Yeah, it really came to like heart. She Molly and Annabella, the 2 girls that were in the accident. My son was close with both of them, and I've known the family for a while, and Annabella's mom actually works at Bayou Bluff, and so did Annabella, and it was a tragedy, and people don't understand, and when that stuff happens, it not just affects them, it affects the whole community. I mean, I went to the funeral, and I mean the outpouring of love and support was amazing, but just to know what the Lees had to go through and Annabella's family had to go through, I mean it's horrible. I mean you got a girl. You have one girl that passed away, and you have other girl kind of fighting, right now. So it's a very, very, very tough situation. And so I went out there and tried to support both of them, and the coast was incredible. I mean, the people, not only the coast, people from all over. I mean, a lot of my friends from Florida helped out, but they raised a lot of money for the families, and for now they started a fund. So, I mean, I'm blessed I was able to do it. And thankful financially I was able to do it. And I'm just more than anything, I just thank all the people that helped and supported in the well.
And it hits home because, I mean, you have a little girl too. I mean, you have a little girl. So, I mean,
I have a little girl and 2 boys, and just, it's almost, I can't imagine what they're going through.
Candace and Brittany and like the Mercy Cross kids that passed away. That's my age. They're my friends.
Yeah.
Josh Bozeman. Saturday, Brian Bozeman at Collision Depot that I'm always with, my buddy.
Yeah.
Josh Bozeman was my friend. He was killed in the car wreck with all of them.
Jeez.
Me and Brian became friends, after that. But like me and Brian are like brothers now. When you watch him grow his empire.
Right.
But that's his older brother, Brian.
Right.
And I was with his parents, and they live right out by Ben Oaks. You know where Ben Oaks is?
Yeah, I know exactly.
The old neighborhood though, the nice one. They've been there since like 1985.
Right.
This dopest parents ever. Mike Bozeman, thank you. I know you always talk about my retirement plan. He's been with Air Gas or whatever, one of these companies for 35 years.
Right.
Just saves every dollar he has. But they lost Josh in that car wreck,
Yeah. I mean, listen, the last thing anybody should ever have to deal with is burying their child before themselves. I mean, it's a different world. It's an unthinkable thing. But, I'll tell you one thing. After going through what they went through, and everything that's here, you realize how special the coast is. Yeah. Because just the events they did for her, and realizing the out-loving support for both of those girls is amazing.
And I think that you're right about that. I mean, no matter how we put a spin on the coast, no matter what, if something happens, we're coming together.
There's no question.
And that's just who we are as a coast. I mean, no matter what it is.
Yeah, good, bad, and different. It seems like, obviously the small towns, there's always a lot of gossip and always a lot of this what happened, that what's happened, and 90% of it's
like The View.
Yeah, and 90% of it's not true. But when there is a tragedy or something bad that happens, like when a hurricane happens, the people come together and they realize, hey, this is the time we got to get together and support each other, and that's what makes the place special. And that's what I realized. The 12 years I've been here, you realize how nice the people are. And everyone pretty much has your back, even though good, bad, and different. Even though when I had my stuff going on, I had so much support. I had so many people. Listen, I have people that I'll probably never talk to the rest of my life that did the opposite. But I would say 95% was genuinely supportive and understood the situation I was in.
I mean that's what you need though.
No question.
I hope you never leave the coast because you're big.
No.
You've been doing big moves on the coast.
And just so everyone knows, I'm not. I've had people say, "Hey, oh my God, he's leaving," because I'm redoing my house.
Are you?
So everyone was like, "Oh my," and I'm not living there right now. So we're living in a house right behind Felix's. But everyone's like, "Oh, is he selling his?" I'm not selling my house.
Don Parker, love the guy to death. Don Parker told me, he goes, Ivan that house was never gonna be his actual his residence.
Exactly.
It was going to be his beach house.
Yes.
Or his family home and not his family home, but like getaway home.
Yeah. So it's funny because Don Parker was the guy that did my plans, and when we bought that house and lot, we made it. We were going to just spend the summers here, and then just things happened that we decided to. And we liked it. Yeah. We ended up buying the lot next to us and kind of expanded the house. But yeah, Don Parker did a great job. We and I still do a lot of business with Don. Pretty much all these projects are all Don Parker's.
Very talented.
Very.
You know, back in the day, he did work for Disney, right?
I didn't. But he's extremely.
I do his website.
Okay, good.
So he did Disney. When he started out, he started doing Disney draw. Like he started small. But works hard. He cares more. He cares as much about you care about your project. His same way he's doing too. He loves CAD. He loves design. He loves being creative.
He's done a great job. I mean, we use all those properties on Pass Road are all Don Parker. So Don, thank you. He's done a great job. He's been extremely supportive.
So what are you doing to your house?
Oh, it's just we're doing like pretty much a gut job. So it's
I've seen this house through the South Mississippi Living. Shout out to Michael.
Michael Soderman. Appreciate it, Michael. We're just, we go to South Florida a lot. And my wife's more into the modern theme now. So,
snap.
Yeah. So, so we're just pretty much open the house up, knock down all the walls.
How about the outside?
The outside's being changed also. It's,
gonna be like all modern glass and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, just a little bit. I mean, we're changing the paint color scheme.
Are you gonna get rid of that Penn State football field?
No, that's there for life.
So you can put there Ole Miss?
No.
Your little boy goes Ole Miss now.
He is an Ole Miss fan, but I'm a diehard Penn Stater. Good, bad, and different. We've had some good times and some really bad times. But no, so we're just gonna open it up and kind of paint the exterior, put new doors in, just make it really more modern looking. It should be interesting. Hopefully it'll be done in the next 5-6 months.
You miss being home?
I do. I go there. I go back there every day because where my garage is, I have my office. So I have like a really cool office area, which I go there every day to work. So I'm there every, but I try not to go in the house every day because I don't want to get more frustrated with the building. Everything, it looks, when you go there every day, it looks really slow.
It's a big house though.
Yeah, it's a big house.
So when you do this design, so like the back, you're going to be able to see now like all the water and.
Well, yeah, you've always been able to see all the water.
Okay, I've never been here, but I'm saying I've just seen the designs. But
so I mean, it's not going to change drastically in the water. It's more, just the interior and the exterior a little bit. But obviously, the lot and the buildings itself aren't going to change.
I think when so we're never leaving our house.
Right.
We just made this clear with me and Emily and but
don't ever say never. Don't ever say never.
No, we like it here.
I know, but don't ever. You're young. That's what I used to say. And
I know, but man, I just growing up, I live. My mom, I lived in Latimer and Oak Springs, but like I bounced around a lot.
Right.
I lived in like 15 different houses probably. Right. So I don't want that for Oliver.
Right.
And not saying nothing wrong with happening.
Right.
But like I want, because my parents are divorced.
You want a place to be home.
Yeah, I want my son to have stability so I can spank him if he gets in my way. And then when he gets out after 18, whatever Emily wants to do,
things are changed now. Also, you don't see many, being in the real estate business, you don't see many people that are buying homes and living in that same home for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Those times have just changed. I think people nowadays move much more often than they used to ever before. Or, redo, really remodel homes or tear it down or do different stuff. It's the mindset of a homeowner, I think, is a lot different today than it was ever before.
Similar to you, I have my but here though, and you're in the studio.
Yeah.
But this was done, this is done through a small area of step.
Oh no, it's great.
So we do that chapter of how we want to do a little family home, and I, like you said, maybe say never.
Yeah.
Might have a second place.
Yeah, but listen, I mean, who knows? All of a sudden, you get picked up by a big network, and you have it in your 20,000 square foot house.
I'm never selling out. Not doing it, buddy. I can't, man, because I have too much fun. I have too much fun, and we talk about this. I have too much fun with people coming up and just hugging me or saying something positive.
But it can make your audience more broad. So, I mean, you say that now.
Matt says we need to keep talking to Ivan. Matt goes, we need to talk to Ivan.
Yeah, listen, it's great you say that, but all of a sudden you have a huge enterprise come and says, hey, we want to make your broadcast national and make it really big. That's not selling out. That's just letting people know who you guys are on a much broader scale. I mean, you don't want just the Gulf Coast or, 80,000 people. If you had a chance to have 80 million people listen to you, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, we were talking about Howard Stern earlier.
Yeah,
I mean, you wouldn't like to be Howard Stern?
It'd be dope.
It would be pretty dope.
But in a positive way.
There's
Definitely
no
has to be in a positive way, because I feel that was the whole thing for me and Matt to get together was him dealing with work with him and his career, and me dealing with, my downfall. And we came together and was like, we're friends since we were 12.
Right.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, there's no question.
And it has grabbed legs to the response we're getting out of people now. And it's but it's still just two friends that get to have these amazing people. People don't know that how much, you just said, I don't have to work a full 9 to 5 or whatever.
Right.
But you're continually driving around in your cars, buying up properties, trying to make a difference in the community that your kids are going to go back and say, hey, my dad developed this area.
Right.
Because Pass Road, let's be honest. If you didn't fix them buildings where Drenigan's chiropractor stuff is,
it's a dump.
Did you see all the stuff inside of it? What was it? An antique store?
It was scary. Yeah, it was scary. And Pinkston's was even scarier. But no, there's no question. Hopefully it revitalizes it. I think there's a lot of people now starting to see it, and I think you're going to start seeing some development there. Yeah. One of the good things about Pass Road is, even though it's like a hodgepodge of
and then
good,
the middle
good
lane.
and bad. Yeah, well, I mean, what's weird about that road is the traffic count is huge.
I know.
So many people drive on that road. They just got to take these old bad buildings, and someone's got to do something with them. And you know what? Back in the day, what's funny is the land that we bought, it was zoned residential. And so all those buildings, it was residential. So we had to go to the city and get it permitted for commercial. But back in the days, the 1950s, whenever it was, people lived their homes. That was their residential area. People were building homes right on Pass Road.
Really?
And that's why you see some small businesses that are old homes.
What was the car lot?
The car lot was a pawn shop. Oh, a jewelry store.
Really?
It was a jewelry store.
And you have a slight section, because, like I said, when I go voting, y'all can't take my spot because nobody can take my spot.
Right.
But I park at Ivan's. Right there across the vote. They're always, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
That's just a shop, but yes.
But you got to, all that was houses. Most of that stuff was the jewelry shop, but these were homes.
So you're talking about on DeBees?
Yeah.
So that DeBees, that actually I think was the Red Cross.
Really?
That was the Red Cross building. Now, so we fenced it all in, but that was actually a Red Cross building, and we cut half the building off. So it didn't really look like that. But the one on Pass Road, the other one where the showroom is, that was a jewelry store.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's good. It's nice to convert these,
Did you ever feel, and I mean, cut you off, but did you ever feel like it was kind of a gamble because there wasn't a lot of development in Pass Road since the last 20 years?
Yeah. It's all about dollars and cents. If you get the right price, if you buy it right, it's all about the cost of the land, the dirt. In how have I always looked at businesses, Pass Road it's still a great location because you have a ton of traffic. So if you get the right price and people are willing to sell for what it's truly worth and not think a ridiculous number, if you get the dirt, which is the land, for a good amount of money, you can develop it to however you want. So, my goal is to kind of take over these strips and hopefully does well, and people see it, and hopefully maybe they'll sell it to me, or maybe they'll sell it to someone else, or maybe they'll do it themselves and improve the property. That's how, these inner cities that are bad areas, all of a sudden, like Harlem used to be like one of the worst places in the world in New York City.
Have you ever been to Harlem?
Yes.
Multiple
times.
Let me tell you, that's what makes you different from most people on the coast,
Right.
because I've never really left the coast.
Okay.
And I'd be fine to stay here.
Well, Harlem was like really, really rough. And
Wow.
then, I think what turned that around was I think it was Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton made his like corporate office there. And then ever since then, Harlem is like extremely expensive. Extremely expensive to live. And but just you turn those areas that were depressed and not worth anything into something, that's special now.
And that's your new gig.
We'll see. I don't know if it's a gig, but it's fun. It's fun.
But I would say it's making moves.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Big changes.
Hopefully it makes moves, and hopefully it financially does well. I think it will. But you got to take chances. If you don't take a little chance in life, nothing will ever pay off.
All right, guys. Well, see you next month.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Hey, man, this is awesome. Hey,
right.
And this is Ivan Part 3. And check them out check out the car lot. How can they reach you?
Gulf Coast Exotic Auto. You can contact Chris Gibson. He's runs it. Marina Cantina. It's run by our GM is Ben Kaufman. Run by the guys at the Blind Tiger. Go check it out.
Yeah, and for the car lot though, honestly, if you're looking for any kind of cool car, there's different financing plans. It's a whole different thing. If you've been looking for that sweet car, they go to these car auctions like he just talked about with his friends.
Yeah.
They're always out there finding these cars. And so if you're interested in all kinds of unique vehicles, let them know and they can find it for you.
Definitely. We'll try to help you out.
All right, guys, you take care.
Have a great day.
I got the yellow ribbon. So, it's okay.
How many times did you sit back just relaxing? Understand movements coming in, yeah, we got the packs in. I don't really wanna see no more traffic. Last pack just came in, let's get it out quick.